Coming at you live from America's podcast studio, Eric the Turf Teacher Jones. The landscape contractor and green industry platform for success. This is the Podscape, brought to you by LMN Software.
And welcome everyone to the Podscape here on a Wednesday morning hump day as we are humping across the week, halfway through that week. That's right. And you know what, guys? We're going to talk about a little bit of insurance problems and the issues that I'm facing as a landscape contractor. And when I hire someone, they don't have workers' comp or general liability. That's what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Podscape. Before we get started today, I want to give a big shout out to LMN Software because none of this would be possible without them. I've personally been using their software in my own company, and so far it's been a complete game changer for my business. LMN is the most comprehensive landscape business management software in the industry. From budgeting, estimating, CRM, time tracking, and so much more, it's a simple do-it tool for your landscape business and provides a platform to scale your company to the next level. And the best part about LMN is they have a free version, which you can begin using today if you choose to. Just visit golmn.com/free to learn more and start taking advantage of the software that's helped me grow my business into a successful, sustainable, and profitable company. That's golmn.com/free. golmn.com/free.
Eric the Turf Teacher Jones. Oh, yeah! Teaching you life lessons, business strategies, and leadership.
Let's grow together.
And so, guys, I want to vent a little bit. And this is going to sound strange coming from the turf teacher. I'm usually upbeat, I'm usually positive, and I'm a little bit frustrated right now. Because yesterday, Tuesday, we decided to go ahead and pay some subcontractors that have just done some work for us. I mean, like recently, within the last couple days. It ain't like it's been a couple weeks or a couple months. We don't go that long. But I wanted to go ahead and pay the subcontractors that had actually worked for us because the customer had paid us. And I keep emailing these guys. I keep texting these guys. I'm like, send me a certificate of insurance. Okay, Eric, we'll get that over to you. Eric, what's your email address? Eric@EliteLandscapes.com is where you need to send it to. The name of the company is Elite Landscape Contractors, Inc. Here is the address. Here is my phone number. You got the email. Do I need to meet you to pick up the certificate? Do I need to call your insurance agent and get them to email it to me? I'm not writing you the check until you send me the certificate of insurance. And I've been begging it for these guys. I mean, I really have. For the last 3 to 4 days, I'm like, send me your certificate of insurance. Man, you should already have a copy somewhere that you could send a customer right away. And if it's expired or whatever, I'm going to call and verify it once you give it to me. But you gotta have that readily available if you want to get paid on time. And so I still haven't got it from one individual. And I noticed that an email had popped up on my phone earlier yesterday. And I looked at it and was like, oh, it's from Farm Bureau. So I'm sure it's one of the subcontractors' certificate of insurance. And lo and behold, it was. And I'm sitting there looking at it, printed it off so I could put it in the job folder. And it says that they actually have general liability, but it has nothing for workers' compensation. Now, I'm sitting there scratching my head. Don't tell me he doesn't have workers' comp. I know he has employees. I know he does. And I know he subs out a lot of stuff himself. And it's an individual. And I'm sitting there looking at the certificate of insurance, and it's his name, DBA, his name, Lawn Care. And I'm like, Jesus, the dude's not even an LLC. He's not even a corporation or anything like that. And I text him. I'm like, hey, dude, do you not have workers' compensation? And he goes, nope, don't have to have it, and I pay my guys underneath the table. That was the text I got back. I'm just like, oh, my God. I pay my guys under the table, and I don't have to have it. You ain't got to have it, Eric, if you ain't got no employees, and when I pay them underneath the table, Uncle Sam doesn't even know they work for me. And I'm sitting here, dude, you're in the lawn care business. You're running mowers. You're running tractors. I see it. I see it. And we sub them out for some parking lot maintenance. And I love the individual to death. He is a great guy, superb guy. Love him to death. And I just assume that everything would be in order. And I'm sitting there with my dad. Dad's sitting there with me in the office yesterday morning. He said, son, the industry is full of people that don't have workers' compensation nor general liability. And they pay people underneath the table. How in the world can you run a legitimate business and pay people under the table? How can you run a legitimate green industry business and not have workers' compensation nor general liability? What in the world are you asking for? Are you asking for a disaster to happen to you? Because when you're not covered, that's when something's going to happen. Now, the electrical contractor that I hire to do some subcontracting for us at this same particular job, it's a huge shopping center. And so we were contracted to do the entire grounds maintenance, to do the parking lot maintenance, to do any type of construction that needs to be done because the owners live in Tennessee. And so we've done a lot of construction work so far. Done some sheetrock. We've done some interior light fixtures. We've done some exterior lighting fixtures. We've done some concrete. We've done a bunch of painting because we're also general contractors. We have that license. We're able to offer those services to our clients. But you know what? The first thing they ask for when we bid on the job, can we get a certificate of insurance? And we sent it to them. And then Farm Bureau actually sent us a copy and said, this is the copy that we give to the property management company at the shopping center. So we had a copy of it. They had a copy of it. And we listed everything that we have. They got copies of our bonds, irrigation bond, landscape contractor bond, our pesticide license, our GC license, landscape contractor's license, irrigation license. I mean, everything. Everything that we have that we need to have to do business. And our electrical contractor is a one-man show, one-man operator who, like many of the people in the green industry, are one-person companies. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I love the individuals that cut grass by themselves. I do. I really do. But guys, you still got to have the protection. And you still have to have the same license and insurance if you want to compete against the big guys. You can't do it. You are going to get in a bunch of trouble. So please get it. But back to our electrical contractor. He's a one-man show, and he has workers' compensation and general liability. And technically, he doesn't have to have workers' compensation because he doesn't have an employee. And you, as the owner of the LLC or of the corporation, don't get covered by the workers' compensation policy. It's for your employees, people that are getting a paycheck. You can elect to pay yourself or cover yourself with workers' compensation, but that's not something you want to do because it just makes your premiums go up that much higher. So what he has is a ghost policy. That way he can work for GCs like myself and landscape contractors like myself without me having to deduct a percentage. Because if I write this individual that's done some parking lot maintenance for us, I'm going to have to pay the workers' compensation on it. And if I deduct the percentage out of his check, he's going to get mad. Well, I don't have to have workers' compensation, but you do to work for me. I don't care if the state says you don't have to. I'm saying you have to show up on my property, my job site, before you get hurt. What if this individual was on our property and was in a car wreck just bumping into somebody? Or was outside picking up some trash or emptying the trash cans and gets hit by a car themselves? Workers' compensation protects you. It protects the employees and protects everybody all around. Now, I know it can get expensive. It's based on payroll, but it is part of doing business. And if you can't do your part, you don't need to be in the business. Guys, if you're needing pesticide training, you need to take a listen to this because we've got them every single Tuesday night and every Thursday night for landscape contractors.
Eric the Turf Teacher Jones. Oh, yeah! Teaching you life lessons, business strategies, and leadership.
Let's grow together.
If you're needing irrigation, landscape, or pesticide credits, check out my website at turfteacher.com. Every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., we host Turf Talk Tuesday for pesticide credits and have online courses for both irrigation and landscape contractors. There are also several opportunities to get your credits at one of our seminars that we do throughout the southeastern United States and information on our Christmas lighting course. Check it out again at turfteacher.com. Okay, guys, so you can see that I get really fired up when I start talking about the subject of insurance and paying your taxes and doing things the right way. Now, this individual that we've hired to do some, parking lot maintenance for us, that's just one scenario. It happens all the time. People in the green industry are not paying workers' comp. They are not paying for general liability, and they're not deducting or withholding taxes and paying it on their employees. If I was a homeowner, the first thing that I would ask for from a landscape contractor or green industry professional, and I don't care if you're just cutting my grass, I want to get that certificate stating that you have workers' comp and general liability. If you don't have it, you're not working for me. Homeowners, you need to listen to this. You must ask for this. Ask for the policy, and if they don't like it, tell them to get lost. I don't care if they've just got one employee. I don't care if they've got the 2 employees where it says that if you have 3 or under, you don't have to have workers' compensation. Because you know what? If that employee gets hurt on your property, it's your homeowner's insurance that's going to pay for it because of the lack of competency that the guy or gal that you hired to not have the insurance. I can't stand it. It drives me absolutely up the wall. Pay for it. Pay for it. I know it costs money, but it's the cost of doing business. And so the individual that we've hired to do it says, I don't need it because I pay my guys under the table. Paying my guys under the table. What kind of business would want to do that? Seriously, what kind of business would want to do that? Why would you want to take a chance of the IRS knocking on the door? Now, let me give you a case in point. I was on a job site one day. This is many, many years ago. And this was in our home building business. We had some houses going. We had some houses under construction. It was right before the market crashed. I'll never forget that. But the market had crashed or was getting ready to crash, and we had some houses that were sitting, and we were on a landscape job site. My wife called that day, and she's like, Eric, you need to get home. I'm like, wow, what's going on? She's like, well, there is the IRS here on our back patio. I'm like, really? She's like, yes. They showed me their badge, got their business card right here. It's such and such agent, blah, blah, blah. She said it just wasn't one. She said they showed up in 2 Suburbans, blacked out. I'm like, shit, this is like, man, Men in Black, This is like the aliens coming or whatever, the shirt and tie and the coat, and even the female had on a black suit. I mean, they were dressed alike, driving 2 vehicles alike. I'm like, uh-oh. So I rushed home and get there, and sure enough, they presented me with their badge, and they had a sidearm on their hip, and they're like, we're here to collect payment, and we need it today. What had happened? I made a simple mistake in calculating payroll. And for the past 6 months, I was not withholding enough. I accidentally downloaded the wrong tax table. I was using QuickBooks to do it. I was using QuickBooks to do the payroll, and I was actually submitting our own taxes, mailing them in, going to the bank and actually making, a tax deposit. And so I got off just a little bit. And so over the course of 6 months, I'd gotten just a little over $2,000 off. And they knocked on the door wanting their money that day. I'm like, Mike, at least I'm paying something. I was like, I got a little mistake here. Come on, give me a day or two to catch. No, we need payment today. Sure enough, go in there and look at the QuickBooks and call QuickBooks, and they're like, yeah, you're off just a little bit. And so over the period of 6 months, I was $2,000 in the hole to the IRS, and they wanted that payment ASAP. So had to do that. So what do you think is going to happen if the IRS knocks on your door and you haven't been taking it out for several years? The one thing that's going to get you in trouble is the pissed off employee. The one that gets mad at you because you fired them. The one that gets mad at you because you made them work on a Saturday. The one that gets mad at you for anything. These are the employees that's going to call the IRS or call the state and get you in trouble. They're also the ones going to be, hey, I want to draw unemployment because of a stressful environment. You guys aren't seeing the cases that are being proven in a court of law now. Individuals can get workers' compensation for just about anything now. If you fire them the wrong way, or if you talk to them in a hostile manner, they can get workers' compensation for that. Paid time off when they leave your company. So don't do it. Get your workers' comp, get your general liability, do the withholding, and pay it. That way you can compete with other contractors for the same jobs. And this is one of my goals. One of my goals as a landscape contractor is to not only educate you guys, but to educate the general public that are hiring us. You can't do business under the table. You can't do business without insurance. This will come back to bite you. Trust me. And when something bad happens, guys, it ain't long before the next and the third thing happens, because everything that happens to you badly happens in threes. No ifs, ands, buts, or about it. So get insured, pay those taxes, and do the right thing. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lecture. For more landscape business expert advice, check out golmn.com/blog. And once again, a massive shout out to LMN Software for sponsoring this podcast and making it all happen. LMN is the most comprehensive landscape business management software in the industry. From budgeting, estimating, customer relationship management, time tracking, and so much more, it's the true do-it-all tool for your landscape business and provides a platform to scale your company to the next level. And the best part about LMN is that they have a free version which you can use today if you choose to. Just visit golmn.com/free to learn more and start taking advantage of the software that's helped me grow my business into a successful, sustainable, and profitable company. That's golmn.com/free. And thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you in the next lecture. And that wraps up this episode of the Podscape. Thank you so much for joining us here, guys. I love each and every one of you. Life lessons and landscape lectures brought to you by the Turf Teacher and LMN Software. We'll see you in the next episode. Turf Teacher out.